I actually had an empty pull box this week. Huh. But I did pick up a few things at the store. Plus, I wanted to discuss a little bit about the lawsuit that the Ditko family is placing against Marvel. You want to see my feelings on it? Stick around. Well, good morning, good afternoon, whichever time you're watching this. Good evening, it's possible. Welcome back, family. Thank you for joining me yet again. It's Saturday morning. I didn't get to my LCS on Wednesday. I got there on Thursday, but I'm still combating a lot of the after effects and the weakness of my wonderful COVID journey. Yay! So it just really wasn't up to making a video Thursday night or Friday night. I just came home and ate a quick dinner and fell asleep. But like I said, I got there and I was very surprised. I don't keep track religiously of what books are in my pull box because I still like to have a little surprise when I get there. I'm still in the same mindset as when I was a kid, and you'd go to the comic store and you had no idea what books were coming out. You didn't know 2 months. You didn't know a day in advance what books were coming out. You got there and you saw them. And, that's why the cover art was always so great back then, because it made you just freak out like, oh my God, so-and-so is fighting so-and-so. And, that's what was, a lot of fun. So I'll go through and I'll pick out my pull list of books that I definitely want to read, and books that I definitely think have a chance to go up in value. But for the most part, once I fill it out, I forget it. And even after I get to the store and they give me the books that I pulled, I still go to the new wall because I want to see what else did I not know about, what looks cool, just that kind of stuff. It's still comic books. It still brings me back to my childhood, and I don't ever want to totally ruin that. So, like I said, though, I didn't get a chance to pick up anything out of a pull box, but I did go to the wall. And also, I did pre-order from Syndicate. Thank you, guys. They had a limited to 25 drawing. I've got to get it framed. That looks so cool. I love it. So that's the reason why the camera's backed up so far. So let me see if I can pause this and zoom in a little bit on my ugly mug so you can see the books that I got and stuff like that. So, yeah, what I did was I went back and I picked out some of the books that I had already gotten, but I picked up a couple extra copies because there seems to be some hotness about them. So I picked up a couple extra copies of Eat the Rich, #1. I was only picking up ones that were cover price, by the way. And thankfully, Syndicate will definitely keep them. I grabbed one extra copy of Last Flight Out, so that makes 3 that I have. There's been a lot of talk about this particular book, so I actually splurged and bought 3 extra copies of Primordial #1. Someday I'll actually get the hang of holding. There we go. That was actually the only cover that they still had, but if you think about the, and I'm not comparing this to Something is Killing the Children, but yes, everybody would love to be able to get the very first print, the very first one, the hot one. But if you had the opportunity to grab the Frizzens or the who did the other one? The other one. At cover price, you'd grab a couple copies. I'm not buying 20 or 30 or so, but I think I bought this book but a different cover. I don't know if this is a second print or not. But it was The Last Book You'll Ever Read. I do not remember that print at all, and I wanted to pick that one up because I didn't have it. And the other, I did buy 2 other books. I have no idea. It's just that I'm a big fan of Image. So, Frontiersman #1. There were 2 different print covers, and I just didn't like the other one. And the Death of Doctor Strange, which I had no intention of getting whatsoever, but got a very, very favorable review from John's Comics with Kids. He read it and he said he liked it a lot. Plays out. He thinks it's going to play out like a murder mystery, which I like the idea of that. So here we go. I'm going to start another series. Yay! So that's pretty much all I got this week. I would like to point out that I did pick another winner for the 500 subscriber giveaway, which, by the way, it's still here because the now fourth winner that I've chosen, which was in the video on Wednesday, has still not contacted me. And it's till next Wednesday, and I will leave the link to that in the end of this video. So if you think you have a chance that it could have been you, just watch it and find out. So anyway, getting on to the other topic that I wanted to discuss. The family of Steve Ditko is filing a lawsuit to regain the trademark for Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. And as a result, they would also get Uncle Ben, Aunt May, Wong, the Ancient One. It's a little... I'm kind of torn on this one. I really am. There have been a lot of lawsuits like this in the past from artists, and artists have never gotten the money, the percentage of what they should have gotten, fair treatment, anything you want to say. Artists never really have, and they've had to fight and claw and everything else to get not just a fair share of the character that they created, but just even acknowledgement. So, who was it that got approached for Secret Wars? Not Liefeld. Anyway, the Secret Empire. Sorry, no, Secret Wars. He got approached to sign over all his claim rights about a month ago. He had an interview about this, and he said, "Well, we were all work for hire." Which basically means the company hires you to create characters. And as a result, all the characters you create are owned by the company. You have no rights to them. This has been something that was a standard for ever. Okay, going all the way back to the beginning of comic books. And it was Todd McFarlane and a few other artists that decided we're done with this and we're going to go and form our own comic company. And that's where Image came from. That's why I said I'm a fan of Image, where they allowed the artists to keep the rights to their own characters. They will publish the books for them, and they get a percentage of the money from the sales, and the artists are able to get a percentage of the money from the sales and still retain the ownership of their own characters. And it's been a war forever. Now, Ditko and Kirby and even to an extent Stan Lee and a lot of other artists have never been able to, they create a character, they get their normal paycheck, and then they watch somebody else make, not millions, billions off of it. How much has the MCU made so far? Over $20 billion just from those films? And we're not even talking about all the merchandising. And, the artists, they got their standard paycheck and said, thank you very much, go home. Now, this is something that has gone on forever, okay, not just in artistry. Thomas Edison had a team of scientists. Thomas Edison didn't invent a dang thing. The people he hired invented everything. Okay, and Edison is the one that said, oh, good job, walked over, patented it, and made all the money. The scientists at that time, they got virtually no recognition. You'd have a hard time looking up to find out who actually created the light bulb. Okay, it's not, there are articles about it, but 99 out of 100 people don't know who actually created the light bulb. They'll say Thomas Edison. No, first off, the light bulb was already invented before that. Though Thomas Edison was making a longer lasting light bulb after trying, 800 different filaments. I'm getting off track here. So, do I feel the artists should have rights to the characters? Absolutely, I do. That being said, it's not Ditko that is suing the company. It's not Ditko that is suing to get the trademark. It's his family. It's not his son, daughter, whatever. It's his nephew. Now, to me, this kind of sounds like, my uncle was a really famous guy, and he got ripped off. I'm going to see if I can sue and get his money. It just, I don't know, to me, and I've had a lot of, no, I'm not going to get into that. To me, it sounds like a family fighting over a will when somebody passes away. And I know it's not, but I've seen this personally too many times, so I'm tainted in this regard. I'd love to see the family get a fair settlement for this, but by the same token, if they had done this in, say, the 90s, the value of these characters was nowhere near what they would have had now. If it is voted in favor of, it won't go into effect until 2023 anyway, which is still a year and a half away. But there have been a lot of lawsuits already brought by artists against the Marvel and DC and whatever, and they've all failed. Everyone has been rejected by the court system because it is a work for hire. They don't, basically, it's not like I create a character and say, here's a character, I'm selling you the character. No, your job is to draw doodles on a piece of paper, and then I pick which ones I like. Okay, I don't want to take sides in this. I can see both sides of the situation, but we wouldn't even be having this conversation if the MCU wasn't making billions and billions of dollars. Okay, that's the only reason I think that they're trying to say, hey, this is worth a lot of money. Let's go after some of it. And it's not the artist who is going to be compensated. It's his descendants. So if I'm working at my job and I come up with a better way of doing something to try to make a machine work better, and then the company says, you know what, we're going to implement that on our machines across the country. That was, good job. And I say, well, that's going to save you millions and millions of dollars. I want $500,000 because I saved it for you. That was my job. My job was to do that. To come back later on and say, well, I want more than what I had agreed upon when I first sat down at the table. It's like renegotiating a contract in sports. But by the same token, how do you sit by and create a character and then watch, and get your, I don't know, what were they making at the time, $65 a week? Then watch somebody else make billions and billions of dollars. And 90, most of the people that go to the movie theater and watch the movie have no idea that you're the one that created the character. I can see both sides of the story. I really can. I'd like to see the families get something. I don't want to see it jeopardize the MCU. That's the bottom line. So I've rambled on here long enough about this. We're getting close to 10 minutes just since I zoomed in. So my little reminder right now, make sure that if you think that you could have won, I'm not going to mention your name. You're going to have to go back and watch the video. Could have won the 500 subscriber giveaway. Please make sure that you do. Reach out and contact me either here or on Instagram, Ohana_comics on Instagram. And guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. And, we keep pushing, try to get up a little bit higher. One other quick thing is, so I had gotten some comments. I'm going to make sure I respond to it as well, about and that's why I put it up here, so that way it's very evident. The Fantastic Four, number 67, first appearance of him in the Cocoon. And I called it not a recoverable, what do you call that? Remainder book. There's certain guidelines for calling it a remainder book, and one of them is that 1/3 of the cover has to be ripped off, and this amount here does not represent 1/3 of the comic. So for me to say that CGC gave it a 2.0 as a remainder, I guess the guideline being is if it is 1/4 or 1/3 of the book and it does not reach that, actually it reaches about 18%, which would put it at 3/16 of the cover. My apologies to anybody that I may have offended in this or erroneous information. And I want to thank the person for pointing it out to me and quoting a very, very long comment and article on that, which I did read because I want to learn and pass the information on to you guys. But thank you again for joining. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave comments because I read every single one of them. But until Monday, which I should be receiving a book back from CGC, a fast-track book that went through, a walkthrough book, which went through in 2 days. They're getting a little quicker, guys. This one's a surprise for somebody. And if you want to stick around to see that one, I'd appreciate it. But until such time, I'm out.